Hiya! Welcome back to my podcast. This is a podcast about knitting and yarn really. My name is Terry. I'm the girl behind Fine Fish Yarns. You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook, and Twitter, all as Fine Fish Yarns. Hello! So, yeah, the first time, and thank you everybody for watching. That was like, what? People were actually watching me. Amazing. Yeah, this is very strange. Oh, thank you. Anyway, yeah. So the last time it was a sock issue I was having. So I had like 5 sock whips, which I then whittled down to 2. Which I haven't actually done yet. I haven't knit any, but I have only frogged one. And I haven't actually knit on any of the ones that I said I was going to keep either. Whoops. But I did frog one, and I turned it into a little mini Rose City roller for Ina. I haven't finished anything, so I only have works in progress to show you. Better than nothing. And whips. I cast on like 3 new things. So it's been really, really hot here, so I'm totally freckly and a bit sunburned. It's good. I love it. I like it. Let the hot weather remain forever, please. So yeah, I did frog the Felix sock that I was knitting. I cast on this little Rose City roller for Ina using the same needles. So I cast on 52, which is 1.5. Look at how cute that is! It's a teeny tiny little Rose City roller, which I actually haven't woven in any of the ends. I only finished it last night. That's so nice. She saw it sitting on my bedside table this morning when she came in. When Gareth brought her in, we take turns getting her in the morning. Doesn't matter. And he was like, sock, sock, and then chucked her leg in the air, so she ran around with one sock on for a while. And it was dead cute actually. And I thought, I was kind of worried that it was going to be too big because I cast on 52 stitches. And I was hemming in hand, but actually it just fits her. I mean, it's nice. It's not stretched, which I've discovered I don't really like. So it just fits her nice. And then there's growing room. And I also, thinking that I'm clever, someone could point out to me that I'm wrong in this somehow. I did a contrast toe because then when her feet grow, I can just pick up the stitches and rip out the toe, knit it a bit longer, and put another toe in. Certainly should go a bit longer because they're not tight on her or anything. So I just did a slip stitch heel with the little garter ridges at either side. And actually, I couldn't be bothered kitchening the toe. I didn't have a darning needle beside me, but I did have a crochet hook, so I just crocheted the toe closed. It's not as perfect. It's kind of, can't really see. Does it go? Well, there's loads of wee like holes in it. That's also because I crocheted it wrong. I kind of forgot. I haven't crocheted in a very long time. And I think that just sits beside my bed when I'm knitting in case I drop a stitch, so it was a wee teeny one. And I forgot you're only meant to have one on your hook, so actually when I was like, oh yeah, I've done all the stitches, and I was like, there's me, I've closed it. I was like, what the hell? Why do I have like 10 stitches on this crochet hook? No. So instead of fixing it, I just went, put the thread through. Fine. I don't know the difference. I'm not that fussed. I like it anyway. It's so cute. I have cast on the second one already. Well, I mean, I've literally just cast it on. So there we go. The little caterpillar. So it's 52 stitches, and it's this 2.25mm Addies. Yeah. And I don't like them because they're very blunt. The lighting is like really glary in here today. What do we see? Anyway, they're very blunt, and So when I drop stitches or when I do whatever, usually, because I would use Hiya sharps a lot most of the time, you can just like flick it up and it's grand. But this one, it's like trying to get it with a spoon. You're going, man, why can't I get my stitch? So maybe it's just me that does that. But yeah, I don't think I'll be using these needles very often again. And also, it's a 100 centimeter cable, because this is one of the first circular needles that I bought when I started knitting. And I decided to knit socks, and you do all the googling, and it's like, oh yeah, use like the long cable, the 100 centimeters. Too much cable for me. I like a 24-inch. If I can get away with it, I'll go with, rather than a 40. I have actually knit socks on 16-inch ones before. I don't do 2 at a time. I don't need this long a cable, and especially for this tiny little sock, this massive cable is absolutely doing my head in. So I think these will just go in the cupboard to be used in case of emergency. Knitting emergency required 2.25 needles. Anyway, yeah. So that was my half object, and my, well, I suppose whip as well, a work in progress. Then I was talking about Gareth's cowl that he wanted me to knit the brioche, and I was like, oh, I don't want to learn brioche, and then I did. I learned brioche. I can brioche, barely. I can do it, but hold on, where did I put it? Da, 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 da. Brioche. So there we go. We have brioche with my 2 of my yarns. The other sock was my yarn as well. Portobello is the brown colour, and then it's just a semi-solid grey that I dyed up for the second contrast colour. So it was going really, really well. There's a Pearl Soho pattern for a brioche cowl and hat. I can't remember the name of it. I should have written it down, but I didn't. It's free anyway on Ravelry. I'll find it out and I'll show notes, that thing. I'll do show notes, will I? Anyway, so that's grand. You knit like a few rounds in plain, and then you start your brioche, and all was going well, and I'm like, knit, this is great, it'll be done in no time. And then I realised I ballsed it up a couple of rows back. I don't even know how I did it. Like, this is the wrong side, so this is actually the start of round here when I realised this mess here. What is that? There's like, let's get this needle out of the way. That's what I did. Anyway, it is just a mess. There's like extra stitches, and when you see it from the front, it's like, what is going on in there? So I put it on Instagram. I'm like, help! What have I done? And Sarah Elena, I think it is. I know her name, I just don't know how to pronounce it. Does anyone else, when you read people's names online, their Instagram name or their real name or whatever, now, I don't do this for everyone's name, but sometimes it's kind of stuck in my head in a certain way that I say it. So every time I read Sarah Elena, I don't know how to pronounce your name, her Instagram name anyway, I go, Sarah Elena, in my head, to myself. Every single time without fail, I'm like, oh, Sarah Elena. Why would you do that? And it's like, Hoki Locatelli. I had never heard her name pronounced, so I didn't know how to pronounce it. And when I was down in Dublin in March, as I was talking about before, I called her Joji. It looked like Joji to me, and they're like, no, that's not her name, her name's Hoki. I'm like, what? Not Hoki, like Hoki Locatelli. Then I get stuck in my head as Hokey Cokey. So now every single time without fail that I read her name, and I have to stop myself from saying it, I go, oh, Hokey Locatelli, for the Hokey Cokey song. It's a little tidbit for you there. It makes things interesting, and anyway. But yeah, so Sarah Helena got back and said that I had put an extra twist in somewhere, and that she had done it and just not bothered. I mean, like, there's a big hole and everything. I don't know. Can you see the big hole? Put my thumb through it. It's ridiculous. And she had done it when she was nearly finished a project and just sort of knit on because she wouldn't notice it. And this is at the start, or maybe about a third of the way through. He doesn't want a big massive one. I think I'm just going to try and like MacGyver it and knit a few things together. I don't really know anything about brioche. Oh, look at that. I don't even know how I've managed to do that. Like, where is it? Can I get it? Yeah, I've like looped the brown around the grey somehow. Do you know what? Gareth will not know it. There, you can see it there. How do you manage to do that? I think I might just try like knitting the two together. It's 200 plus stitches per row. And I don't really want to frog back that far. I don't know brioche well enough to be confident in like picking up all the stitches again. So it could result in me frogging it and ripping it out, which I don't want to do either. So I might just knit a few stitches together there, do something, and then sort of start again. So there'll be like a little bit that makes it unique. If I don't point it out to him, he'll probably not realise. And even if he does realise, he won't say anything because he's awfully good. Or maybe he will say anything. He'll be like, Anyway, so I learned brioche, sort of. It's really squishy. And actually, it's a bit stretchy for me, so I could have done... Gareth and Ina are here still. And he's bringing her upstairs to get her bath, so you'll probably hear a lot of chitter in the background, although the microphone on this is crap, so there's every chance that you won't. But I dare say she's going to come rapping the door to come in, and there's no pause button on this camera that I use, so I'll probably just have to cut a few bits out or just leave them in. Brioche. And then... Oh, they're upstairs. It'd be really awkward talking now. Okay, so I'm back for a bit. They're in. She's getting a bath. No one cares. I'm sorry if you can hear him sort of chatting and playing with her in the background for a bit. Family life. So that was I just showed the brioche coil. That was the second thing that I cast on then after well, I cast it on before baby socks. Anyway, that was number 2. This is number 3, and I had bought yarn to knit the Rombil sweater jumper. Feels really weird saying sweater. You say jumpers and cardigans, but when I talk about yarn, it's sweaters. It's weird. Anyway, and then I had realised that I had 13 skeins of hedgehog fibre skinny singles in different colours. This is like 2 clubs and one that I bought myself. So I cast on a jumper in 3 of them. I cast on with Wigwam. It's lovely, isn't it? It's like a really dark gold. Oh look, I can put it here and you can see it a little bit still. Okay, Wigwam. Flood, which is actually quite that bright. It's a really deep, intense bluey navy. Oh, you can't see Wigwam quite as much. Not sure. And then this came out of the last club installment that I got, and it's Wobble. The other one was called Wibble. So there you go. It's a lighter blue, like a brilliant blue almost. So the little flecks, they all sort of tie in together. Like if I put it there, oh, look, I'm framed. Anyway, I cast on Pavement by Vera Valimaki, I think. You can correct me on that. Once again, I didn't write these things down, so here it is. I'm doing completely random stripes. Someone's not happy about getting in the bath. But I did most of the colour in Flood, and that's the inside. That's where it's really annoying knitting with 3 colours, and I'm not snipping them and rejoining because I'm doing it randomly, and sometimes I've only knit, say sometimes, I mean, look how little I have done, but I'm just going to do like a couple of rounds of one colour and then maybe block, so it'll be like a higgledy-piggledy striped. But so please ignore all the ends. Here we go. Here it is. to start with. It's probably as well as I can do. So it's Flood, that's Wigwam, and Wobble. These stitch markers, I think, came from Rosie Retro on Etsy years ago, 2-3 years ago, can't remember. And there's a little koala, and I think from the shape of the beads, this one is from Vanessa from Lene Yarns. I think it came on a skein of yarn from her. I think, can't remember. So there we are. This will grow up to be a jumper one day. This is actually the back of the neck, so really it goes that way, but the way it's cast on is that way, and that's why it's all foldy. But yeah, so it's shape is short rows, and I'm knitting it on Hiya Shorts, my favourite needles, and they're 3.75. So I knit Ina's sock yarn baby sweater on 3.75s for the same base, and I liked the fabric it had at the end, and because it's been washed and stuff a few times, when I measured it I knew that that's how my gauge and stitch count and whatever would work out on those needles at that jumper. And I like that fabric. I think if I had it gone bigger it would have been too loose for me, so I just did a bit of maths and worked out that if I cast on the size above what I need, my gauge will work out at pretty much bang on the inches, the size for the size below that I need. I explained that very, very poorly. Casting on the size above will get me the finished size of the measurements below, which is what I need on these smaller needles, and the gauge that I'll be happy with. So I haven't actually lifted this in a while. I was knitting on it and then I lost steam. I don't know why I lost steam. Why did I lose steam? I think I just got busy, and then I was really into working on that brioche coil. I was like bashing it out, thinking I was the Mutts Nuts, and then cocked it up. Yeah, I'll have to fix it. It's Father's. Maybe I'll finish it for Father's Day. Oh, it's 2 weeks, isn't it? 3 weeks. Maybe. I will just put that away. So they are. Oh, I have one more whip. This blanket, I added a lot for me anyway. Which way around is it? At the back? Yes, that's the back. This is the front. Ta-da! I have added another 5 squares, which clearly took me about 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks since the last one. So the last one that I had in was the fondant fibres, and then the girls are up from the south last weekend, and they brought, they were so generous. They have so many minis and stuff, but I'll get on to that in a second. But yeah, so these are all minis from them. This one was from Hannah, and she doesn't know what it is. She knows that her friend who either does work for or used to work for West Yorkshire Spinners gave her this one, but it's not West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, but it's lovely. Look at it, look at the colours. It's really autumny and jewelly, and I really like it. This one, also from Hannah. I don't know how you pronounce this. It's laughing with a Y in front of it. Hen. I actually thought Hannah was drunk when she texted me. I'm like, Hannah, what do you call this one? Laughing with a Y in front of it, hen. But then there was a typo at the end, so I was like, what in the name of God are you talking about? What? I don't understand that. And then she was like, no, that is the name of it. And I went, okay, well there you are. So there's that one. Also from Hannah is this one, which I think was a Rico. I think it's either Rico or Drops. Oh, crikey, I have such a bad memory. And then this one was from, Oh, this one is Green Elephant. Yeah, this one's Fiona's. Green Elephant, and I think it's called Seashell. I think I could be making that up. And Kira kind of gave me this one. And then we have, oh crikey, don't want to pull that out. This one was from Helen, who also has a podcast, which doesn't have a name. It's just under her name, which is Helen Whiteley. Yeah, this one is Dram Designs, and she made a lovely baby vertebrae out of this yarn for her sister-in-law. It was so cute. It was the cutest little cardigan. But there we go. I am. Oh, look if I do this. So I'm nearly a quarter of the way through. I'm about, let's call it 21% of the way through my finished blanket squares. I just need to sew in the ends in those ones. I was pretty good, and like all the ends are sewn in down at the bottom, and then I've just got lazy. But I'll sew them in the joins, and it'll be fine. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. Not very much, admittedly, for the length of time that it's been, but I've been busy, and Gareth was away with work, so it's less knitting time. Else the house fall down and disrepair around me. That's all I've done. But it's fun! So, I mentioned that the girls were up last weekend from... I say from Dublin. Oh, the girls were up when I'm talking to Gareth. Oh, the girls were up from Dublin. The girls were up from Dublin. They're bloody well not up from Dublin. Kira's from Offaly. Helen's from Kildare. And actually, I don't rightly know where Anna's from. In about an hour inside Dublin. So the girls were up from Dublin. Yay. And they came to my house for a while first and dyed some yarn. Had a chat. They were here for quite a while. Excuse me, it is late. It's not late. It's 6:30. I'm just tired. So they came and they dyed yarn, and their stuff was amazing. Hannah's dyed her hands and then my hands, and I was rinsing it and half of my kitchen. But it is amazing. She did this really vibrant sock blank. Kate did it was like a grey with speckly bits. Kira did pink and peach with speckledy bits, and Helen did one that turned out sort of variegated with speckles all bloody round. It was brilliant. And then I dyed this one. I dyed 5 of these, so there's one for each of us. I had, when we went to Dublin, I had dyed a colourway for it as well, just as a wee present. We're like, here, there you go. And I called it Marching Orders, and I dyed 5 of them. And then I accidentally sold one because I was doing a market the day before I came down, Total Stitch Fest in Belfast, the day before I went down. And I was like just chucking things out because I'm always late to these things. I turn up late and I'm like, yeah, trying to get stuff done. So I wasn't paying enough attention, and I chucked out the one that was actually for me. And then someone came along and, you know, I was chatting away to her and she was lovely and she lifted to buy it, and I just felt, I didn't feel like I could say, actually, here, love, no. But that's fine. That's grand. I'm not that bothered. If I had been that bothered, I'd be like, no. I was like, oh, okay. The others got there, so that's something. But this one I have, and I'm going to keep it. And I suppose since last one was called The March to Dublin, this one will be called Cruise to Belfast, because, yeah. Yay. So there's that. And then, because they're all so nice, and we kind of were just like, it was like Christmas in my living room, and my daughter was like, wow, there's so much stuff. So there's like a multitude of minis was given. Actually, this bag. See? How cute are they? She's got newspaper hair, and she put a bird on it. And Kate made these for us, and they are massive. So my blanket actually lives in this one, and it's lovely. It's got a handle, which I didn't know that I needed in project bag until I got project bags with handles, and it was like, they're brilliant. And it's actually huge. Can you see all the way down in there with all of those millions of minis? And oh, look at the little notebook. Oh, that's part of that. Oh, what fun. That's from Helen. She gave us that. Oh, so cute. Helen is Matin Rose. She did stitch markers and stuff, and actually, as I root around in my bag of treasures, where are they? Ah, so she made this little. She made us lots of stitch markers. There's all different ones. There's yarn and there's cherries and a little house and a camera. Buttons. And actually I just noticed this one. It's a little cat. Aren't they lovely? She gave me those and minis. Actually, these minis are all mixed around. I don't know who gave what. I'm just going to take out the handfuls to show you, right? I'll not want for any for a while. Millions! Millions of minis. Oh, actually, and there's some in there that didn't come out. Well, that one's mine, actually. Whee! Well, it's not mine. It's yarn that I bought in Paris. It's, oh, crikey. Soctopus. I think it was Soctopus. And I knit my worm hat out of it. And then I knit baby Ina a little baby worm hat, but she came out with a big head and it didn't really fit. Wore it home from the hospital. It was like, then we'll just put it in a box. But I knit her mitts out of it as well. It went really far. I think there was like 425 meters or 400, and it's really lovely colours. This actually. That is one of my favourite yarns, and I can't bring myself to make minis out of it, so I shall be knitting it into my blanket a lot. But it's because it was like baby Ina stuff and whatever. Put that there. Yeah, so we got lots of lovely yarns and stuff. This one, it's dead pretty. So anyway, they came up just for like a social thing, and then we went shopping, yarn shopping. I'm just putting all these minis back in the bag because I was a bit cavalier, just chucking them down like rain. So we went first to a shop called Jean's Wool Shop on the Craiga Road, and it's mostly like acrylic and baby yarns and stuff, but she has lots of sock yarns like Opal and Heart and Soul and maybe Regia and some Treks. I can't remember. So we went there first and I was like, no, I'm not really interested in buying any Opal because I knit Gareth socks from them once and I was like, didn't really like knitting from it, and I didn't like the colours. It was one of the Little Prince colourways. This something about the fox. So I was like, no, you guys go ahead. I'm not going to buy any. And then I heard her say, oh, the lady who was working there, who may well have been Jean. Oh, these are on sale. They were $7.99 and now they're £4. And I was like, whoosh, sale? What? I may as well. So, so this is the one that was on sale. Serdar Heart and Soul. And you get a free sock pattern apparently. But it's a stripy yarn, obviously. And you can't beat it. I mean, half price for a sock yarn, £4. But then because I was buying that, I was like, oh, you may as well. May as well chuck that one in as well. So I got the Watermelon Opal, which should knit up like this whenever I eventually knit it. As I look up at all my sock yarn. So yeah, I got those. Hold on, what way am I going here? And there's one of my hairs. So there we go. I got those two from Jeans. I was quite restrained on this trip. And in fairness, we've been saving since we were in Dublin. So we kind of, because Helen and Kira couldn't make it to Dublin, so we arranged Belfast then. And I had one of those tins that you get in the pound shop, like they're about that size, big money box tin. So I've been saving in it since. Just chucking your change in, stealing fivers on Gareth if he left them sitting with a yoink, mine, and then putting them in. So that was my guilt-free spending money, and I did spend it guilt-free, but I didn't go overboard or anything. So then we went to Parlour Yarns. I didn't really see anything I liked in Parlour Yarns. She has dye candy, but there wasn't very much there. Helen and the little bird. sorry, Helen and, not Helen, Hannah and Kira got some lovely die candy ones. She didn't have very many there. I think that she'd run low on stock, and we must have come towards the end of, or just before she was going to restock or whatever. And I had got the Candygram Club last month, I think, was it? So I was like, oh, I'm okay for die candy for the minute. I'll wait until she restocks and then I can have a good nosy. So I didn't buy anything there and they did. And then we went up to Lighthouse Yarns in Whitehead. Louise owns that. And it's really, really lovely. It's on the coast, it's such a beautiful drive, and the weather was gorgeous. It was so sunny and it was just brilliant. And I bought 2 skeins. I was very restrained, very, very restrained. So I bought these 2. God, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Araucania? Botany lace. I fell in love with this colour, like entirely. Like I just love this colour now. It's my colour of the moment. It's like a really mauvey, dusty pink. It's actually a bit brighter. Maybe this? No, anyway. It's a little bit brighter than it's showing up on the camera. But then I also saw this one. Da, da, da. And I thought that they went really well together. And would do a lovely shawl together. For whenever I finish Hui, and then the other shawl that I bought the extra lace for. So this is as yet unpicked shawl number 3, which I have the yarn for. But it's so squishy. I really like this. I hadn't seen it before, or I hadn't paid attention to it before. I just walked past or something. But I really like it, and I kind of want to just cast on already, and just did a baby thing in this. But no, this is for me, not baby thing for me. With friends who are pregnant. We went to a barbecue last week or the week before. No, it was last week because the girls left on Sunday, and then I was working in the Fine and Dandy market and went to a barbecue afterwards with his friends, and one of them turned up like heavily pregnant. Like, what? Didn't know. So I'll be knitting baby things. And this is really calling to me to cast on and knit, and I think it would make a beautiful like cardigan. But no, this is for me. Keeping this one. So because I only bought 4, I bought 4 skeins of yarn, and I had guilt-free money left that was literally burning a hole in my pocket. I ordered some fondant fibre. I hadn't, well, my first fondant fibre, I knit that square that Kate gave me. So I was just perusing the site, as you do on a Saturday night when we were all laughing about our spoils and chatting and having a cider or 2. And I ordered 2. I like this one. It's really, there you go, it's a bit better to see it there. This is Metal Guru, and it's a merino silk singles. It's got really lovely shades of like yellow. Now I can't see. I'm light blind. Yeah, like a goldy lichen and browns and navy, gunmetal and teal. It's really lovely. It's not colours that I would usually go for, but I think the silk in the base and the fact that it's singles is just like soaks up dye is beautiful. So I got that one. And then because I hadn't tried or knit with Polwarth before, and I really wanted to try it, I got this one, which is Deep and Meaningful. Just look at those colours. It's beautiful. It's just Polwarth. There's no nylon or anything in it, but I don't think that's going to stop me. I think it really sort of wants to be socks. It's maybe a hat. It is quite squishy. It's not as soft as merino. It's very bouncy. It's like doosh, doosh, doosh. So I got those 2. And these came with a little stitch marker. Cover this, which I accidentally showed. With a little bee or wasp. But it was quite funny because it arrived, and this time of year, so I was thinking about my granny, who died like 2 years ago, but she was hilarious, and everyone, there's that whole thing where, if you see a butterfly, it's someone who's, no, Granny, we say wasps. She was, she was so funny. And then when she died, there were wasps everywhere, and one flew out of her casket and stuff. We're like, Burnsy, you and your bloody wasps. I got one like tattooed on my arm because I was getting my tattoo finished, so I didn't go out and go, hey, I need to get a wasp on my arm. I was getting my 3/4 sleeve finished, and I had flowers and stuff to do, and I was like, oh, can you put a wasp in there for me? And then he did. The irony being, I hate wasps, hate them, terrified of them, never been stung, convinced I'll get stung by one and go into a severe anaphylactic shock and die. Being stung by a bee wasn't really that sore. Well, I mean, it was sore. It wasn't as sore as you imagine that it's going to be, the hell of pain. I'm just terrified of wasps, and they're just, they buzz in your ear. It's the buzzing. Anyway, so that's everything. That's all my loot. Doesn't happen very often anymore with loot. I've signed up to no clubs. I didn't do the Hedgehog Club. We saved for that one for a while. That's that, and I have so much knitting to be doing that I don't. Here, what am I talking about? Crap. I'll clearly see something online and someone's update and go, ooh, that's nice. I must have that. Speaking of wasps, there's another one at the window. But other than that, that's about it really. I'm actually going to show some of my yarn now, because as I've mentioned, the 18th of June, as everyone knows, I think, is Worldwide Knit in Public Day. So I dyed a colourway specifically for it. Go off screen. I have a couple here. It's called June Bug. So here it is. So I put this up for pre-order. So it's got, because it's all skeined up, you can't really see. And that's not focusing very well. So it's got red, or like pink, and some red, and some lilac, and some blue, and some goldy green speckles, and it's on a teal base. And this one skeined a bit differently. You can see some of the pink. I love it. If I do say so myself, I really love this one. I'm like so into pastels right now, because the Fine and Dandy market that I do, my social life, my work social life, it was their 3rd birthday, so I dyed this colourway. Ooh. Sorry. I know when she sees something I go, ooh, and then Gareth and I started copying her. I do it even without thinking, ooh. Anyway, so this was called, oh crikey, where's my screen gone? There we are. This is called Whatever Happened to Fairy Cakes, anyway, because it's all cupcakes now, and they used to be fairy cakes which were tiny and edible. Now you've got like these big massive cupcakes with mounds of icing which you can't eat. So this was anyway, a silk merino stellina lace. Oh, you can see the sparkles kind of coming through in it. It's really nice. It's so bouncy and squishy and soft. And then I actually have one here, the little pocket skeins, and it's just on the core sock base, but a smaller version. So it's got like little party speckles, and it's on a peachy blush pale pink base. So as I said, I'm so very into like pastels right now. Ooh. But then on top of pastels, I also like brights. So these are like 2 of my current favourite brights. See, the first podcast I did, I carried a skein of this around the house with me because it was my test skein for how good or bad the light was, because seriously, look how bright that is. It's just, it sends my camera crazy. What? I actually may have shown this last week, I can't remember. It wasn't last week either, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyway, this is Working Girl, and it's crazy bright if I put it back there. And then this is Narwhal. And it's teals and blues and mauves. I like these. And then I posted out, for anyone watching who signs up to the famous 5 yarn club, they have been posted. I posted those this afternoon. today is Saturday the 4th of June, just so you know. But they were all posted this afternoon. And look away in a second. I'll tell you when, because I'm actually going to, I have some of them sitting beside me, which I dyed for myself. So if you don't want to see what the club colourways look like, I'm not going to say who it is. But if you don't want to see what they look like, look away now. Right now, here they come. See, look at them. I really like these. I love this one, which is, there you go. It's got like speckledy bits, and then I really like this one. And this one is a really, crikey. Whoa. I like them all, actually. Whee. There we go. Okay, they're away. You can look back. What did you think of those? What? I am not going to be knitting stripy socks with these ones because I haven't lifted that other stripy sock. I tried, well actually no, that's a lie, I did. And I knit one round, I tried it on again, and even though I said I was going to carry on with it, the stretch across the bridge of my foot just made me go. So it's kind of in the sin bin for a while. Or it's just being ignored, rather. So I don't know, oh crikey, wait, what's their name? Someone on Instagram knit a tubularity out of their set of David Bowie mini skeins, and the name is on the tip of my tongue. Blue Lizzie is the Instagram name, and it is beautiful. Her knitting is just beautiful. So there's an idea for anyone. You can knit a tubularity. I don't think I will. What will I? I don't know. Hats, probably. I like hats. Or mittens. Or maybe like colour block socks rather than stripy socks. That's everything. I did buy. Someone commented on the last one, and I can't reply to the comment. I keep trying, but it says, no, you can't do this. Error or something. I don't know. I'm not very technically savvy, so I don't know why it's doing that. But it was about the sound being quite poor. I know, right? This microphone on the MacBook Pro is shit. It is shit. So I did buy a microphone. I bought a really cheap one because I'm like, I'm not forking out a load of money for a podcast, and I don't know where I would like to keep doing it, but you don't spend a bugger load of money after one episode. So I thought I'll try a bog standard microphone. Doesn't bling a work. Plugged it in. It work. Why? So I just bring that back. So I apologise if the sound is really bad again. I'm trying. I'm probably going to have to buy the more expensive one just so that you can hear me and I don't have to shout a bit. And I apologise for the keek sound. I'm trying. I'll try better for next time. Try harder, rather. The knit along is still going. It ends on the 18th of June. So if you knit anything in my yarns, post it in the Ravelry group, Fine Fish Yarns, and then I'll pick a winner. Or random.org will pick a winner, and I'll give them some yarn, and that'll be fun. Everyone likes free yarn for stuff you're already knitting. Yeah. Thank you. Have fun. See ya. Bye.